Cyclone MMA. Will Conor McGregor ever fight in the UFC again? That's the question. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Because, first of all, I feel like a lot of people who watch this channel think I just hate Conor McGregor and I just shit on him all the time. This isn't the case. I don't hate the guy. I think he makes a lot of crazy, dumb decisions. But you have to look at the legacy of Conor McGregor. He flew up the ranks in the featherweight division, took the crown, went up a weight class, and then took the lightweight belt. He had a crazy fight with Nate Diaz between two of them. Lost the first one, won the second one. He boxed Floyd Mayweather. He runs a successful whiskey company, and now he's a movie star. He's done it all. The thing is, this dude shouldn't be fighting. Like, if I were him, which I'm not him, and I don't have the warrior spirit like Conor McGregor, but I think if any of us were him, it'd be like, why do you want to fight in the cage? There's always this talk about the UFC not really paying that much. I'm sure they shell out a couple $1 million for McGregor. I don't know how much it would be. Anywhere from the 5 to 10 mil range, I'd imagine. Who knows? They're really secretive, especially with their big stars. But let's look at Conor McGregor's last couple trips to the Octagon. So the last one was against Dustin Poirier. A round that was insane. A round that saw Conor McGregor go for a takedown. A round that saw Poirier landed some crazy elbows. A round that ended in a crazy freak leg injury that Conor McGregor has healed from, and now it seems like he's powerlifting. And that leads us to this whole new conversation about, like, steroids. A lot of people are saying that Conor McGregor is taking steroids. How would they know? I don't know. His physique is changing, and I don't think USADA is testing him. So there's a little gray area controversy there. But back to the resume. Before that Poirier fight, there was his second Poirier fight. Remember, there was the trilogy, and he lost. He looked good in the first round. He won the first round. In the second round, he got caught. He got knocked out. Before that, in 2020, January of 2020, think about how long ago that was. He fought Donald Cerrone. He TKO'd him. You think about Cowboy, where he's at in his career now. Does that win look that good? I don't think so. Then before that, he fought in 2018 against Khabib. We know how that went. It's just a lot of inconsistency in the UFC, and I thought that McGregor would come back, and I thought his final fight, or another one of his fights, his next fight was going to be Nate Diaz. Now, that ship has sailed. Nate Diaz is no longer in the UFC. Nate Diaz went out on top fighting Tony Ferguson, winning. He's going to test other things. This leaves us in a weird spot because you got McGregor right now. He's in the new Roadhouse movie. He's doing his thing. He can do the whole Hollywood thing and act and, cameo in films and shows and be super successful and make a ton of money. He really can. I know he sold his whiskey business for probably hundreds of millions of dollars. The man has money. The man doesn't need to fight. I don't know if it's a pride thing or what, but it seems like he wants back in the Octagon. I know he keeps calling out Charles Oliveira. He keeps saying that Oliveira is going to beat Islam and that he wants Oliveira next. This isn't going to happen. I think it could have happened at some point. With this much of a layoff and him leaving the way he did off of 2 losses, losing 3 out of his last 4, it's not really ideal for him to come back and be asking for a title shot. I know that Dana in the UFC treats Conor differently because he brings in that money. I know any guy in the lightweight division who has a title wants that fight. So if Islam wins, I think he's completely fine fighting Conor McGregor for, a ton of money. And same with Charles Oliveira. I know Charles Oliveira wants the fight. So it's not a matter of that, but I don't think the UFC at this point can just give Conor McGregor a title shot. Of course, stranger things have happened, and if anyone's going to do it, it's McGregor. But what I want to look at is the other fighters in the lightweight division, seeing who Conor McGregor could fight. So there's Charles Oliveira. In the second spot is Dustin Poirier. He's fought him 3 times already. They're not going to do a 4th, especially with how not great Conor McGregor looked in the 3rd fight. I know it was early, and I know it was fairly close, but Poirier won that round. Justin Gaethje. You're going to give Conor McGregor Justin Gaethje? You're going to kill your superstar like that? Like, no offense to Conor, he could catch Gaethje, but the pressure, the striking, and most importantly, the leg kicks of Justin Gaethje makes him a terrible fucking matchup for Conor McGregor. Then you have Islam, likely going to win a title. Sorry to all you Charles Oliveira fans out there. I love the dude too. I'll probably root for him. Islam Makhachev is probably going to take the throne and run it just like Khabib did. In the 5th spot, you have Michael Chandler. That's a bad matchup for Conor between the wrestling and then the explosive striking. The dude has a fucking piston as a right hand. The power of Michael Chandler's crazy. Of course, he's a little chinny too. We had Tony Ferguson dropping him, so maybe a winnable fight for Conor. Maybe we could see that. But then, you know, Beneil Dariush, Rafael Fiziev, Rafael dos Anjos, Matsus Gamrot, Arman Sarukian. It's crazy to look at it. And what's even crazier is looking at these rankings and realizing at this point in his career, Conor McGregor's ranked number 12. And I know a lot of that is from him just not fighting, not being consistent, and they want to keep him in there because he is the face of the UFC, even still without him competing. It's just an interesting conversation because where does he go? What does he do? Does he go up to welterweight? Is he going to fight Leon Edwards? Is he going to fight, you know, Kamaru Usman? A lot of wrestlers in that welterweight division, a lot of bad matchups. What do I think that Conor McGregor... Jeez, said that weird. Who do I think Conor McGregor can fight? I thought Nate Diaz, but Nate Diaz is, you know, gone out of the UFC. Maybe they could do a 1-fight contract for Diaz and they could do that trilogy. I think that makes sense. I think that's an okay fight to put on. Maybe Jorge Masvidal, but Dana already shows that he doesn't want Jorge Masvidal fighting McGregor. You got two kind of washed stars there. Make a little bit of sense. I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation. I can't predict the future, but it's going to be another year at least of Conor McGregor not fighting in the UFC. He's going to be 35, 36 next time he does fight in the UFC, if he does. So I guess I'm going to leave on a question, and you guys can talk about this below, and you can comment and let me know what you think, but will we ever see Conor McGregor in the Octagon again? Because if you were to ask me, gun to my head, I'd say no, which is surprising and not something that we thought a couple of years ago, especially when McGregor was saying that he wanted to have like a season. He wanted to have 3 or 4 fights in 1 year. Didn't happen. Of course, the leg injury didn't help. But at this point, with all the money, with the matchups, the layoff, in all of those factors, I don't think we see McGregor fight in the UFC again. But let me know in the comment section below. Will he? And if you're one of the people who thinks he will fight in the UFC again, who? Because it's got to be a big enough name, and it's got to make sense, and you don't think that they're going to feed him someone like Kamaru Usman on his return. But that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like below. Subscribe if you haven't already. We talk about MMA on this channel. So, yeah, if you're into MMA, this is the channel for you 100%. Check out my MMA t-shirt store. Some funny MMA designs. Check it out on Teesprings. Link below. All right, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace out. I'm putting him at unbeatable. I was a Francis doubter. And after you beat Stipe, I said I will never doubt that guy.
I know his mama got tickets, so shut the f*** about, hey,